This news program is proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Now Biscuits.
Students across the country sit for national exams. Evicted settlers file national court order. World Food Day celebrated in Goroka, Eastern Highlands Province. Good evening, this is National EMTV News. I'm Godwin Eki. Thank you for joining us. Grade 12 exams begin today, where students in the general education system, including private permitted schools in the country, commence today. This will see grade 12 students from 213 secondary schools within the country sit for their exams.
A total of 175 pioneer grade 12 students of Butuka Academy Secondary in Port Moresby were among the 31,155 students who sat for their national examinations today. The school obtained its secondary status in 2019, and for the first time, students will sit for their national exams throughout this week, which will determine their selection into respective tertiary institutions within the country next year. The students commenced with Advanced Maths Paper 1 and the General Maths Paper 1 in the morning session. Students who have studied history subject this academic year continue their exams in afternoon session. National examinations for other subjects taken in upper secondary school will continue this week as well. School's principal Jean Ifuda says students were given ample time for studies and have been preparing for the exams.
They've been given a lot of support materials to do over the holidays. We as a school and the teachers in the secondary sector, we're very confident that our students will do well.
In the nation's capital, grade 12 students from 23 secondary schools, including private permitted schools, said the exams. The Gordon Secondary is one such school where 356 grade 12 students also sat for their exams this morning. Meanwhile, the Department of Education in a media statement released this month announced that grade 10 results will be released to the grade 11 selection conference on the 5th of December, and grade 12 results will be released to the Department of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, or DHEST, on the 12th of December. Grade 8 results will be taken care of by respective provinces, and certificates will be sent to schools within the provinces by 3rd week of December this year. Jim John, National EMTV News.
At least 4,000 spaces are expected to be created in the next 5 years for tertiary students in the country. This was highlighted by the Minister for Higher Education and Sports, Don Pollier, when presenting his ministerial statement in Parliament recently.
The main challenges the Department of Higher Education face is the Infrastructure Development Limited funding. This was highlighted by Minister Don Pollier on the floor of Parliament.
The main challenges in infrastructure development have been scarce funding and lack of capacity of institutions to deliver. It has been a trend in the last 10 years where actual funding received is less than the appropriated amount and significantly less than the requested amount.
To address these challenges, Pollier highlights some interventions for the next 5 years. He said DST is taking a two approach towards the infrastructural development. That includes building of two infrastructures in the existing institutions and to support the establishments of new institutions.
Support the establishment of new institutions, including Medical University, Lutheran University, and Innovative University of Enga. These three have been recently established. An upgrading of existing vocational centers, institutions based on labour market needs, equity and government directives at a 700 million kin over the next 5 years.
Pollier added that the department aims to establish at least one new institution in various areas and field.
Mr. Speaker, my department aims to establish at least one new institution in the areas of agriculture, teacher education, technical and polytech training, nursing in specialized fields such as science, technology, engineering, mathematics, or in short, STEM.
He said to improve program and project management, the department's aim is to develop a monitoring and evaluation framework to monitor and evaluate developments in the higher and technical education sector through a systematic approach.
For physical infrastructure, the total cost to create at least 4,000 spaces using this intervention modality to improve access to quality higher education and training is approximately 1.2 billion, which is a sum of 529 or 530 million and 700 million that I alluded to earlier over the next 5 years.
Polia added that this will contribute to improving access to quality higher education and training at the cost of 1.23 billion kina over 5 years and will be guided by an infrastructure development plan. Sharon Engnui, National EMTV News.
More improvement is needed in the current education system of the country that will bring better education for our children. This concern was raised by member for Popondetta Open during the Parliament sitting last Friday.
Most of the funding that is sent from
In a question without notice, the Minister for Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology and Sports, Don Pollier, was asked whether he had any plans to reform the existing tertiary institutions in the country or not that will help students with their careers in the very near future. Popondetta Open MP Richard Masere is concerned that as many students pass out from tertiary institutions, their chances for job opportunities are limited.
A lot of our institutions in this country are spitting out young people into the society. And a lot of these young people that have been spit out of the education system into the society cannot find a decent job. And if there are jobs available, if we graduate about 15,000 young people out of tertiary institutions, out of that there's about only 1,000 jobs available for these 15,000 people that come out.
Member for North Flight James Donald also reiterated that education system needs to be reviewed and science, technology, engineering and mathematics or STEM education should be taught in the current curriculum.
Science, technology, engineering and mathematics, which is encompassing the future of Papua New Guinea. And if we were to bring that curriculum quick, I am one fan of a person that wants to see that curriculum develop quickly. So the short question is that when would his department or the ministry bring that into picture or reality so that we can quickly roll that out across the country?
In response, the minister says plans are underway to have existing institutions be improved on its infrastructures, teaching and learning resources that will cater for students' learning.
the Marape Rosso government sleep staff na to bami working next time me working finish the me working bami to do them.
He furthermore clarified that over 5 million kina would be used for improving infrastructures in its existing institutions and 7 million kina would be used to upgrade vocational centers around the country over the next 5 years. Jim John, National EMTV News.
Hundreds of people turned up yesterday in Goroka Eastern Highlands Province to witness the World Food Day under the motto, "Leave no one behind." World Food Day is an international day that is celebrated on the 16th of October globally to highlight the millions of people worldwide who cannot afford a healthy diet and the need to regularly access nutritious food.
The board, management and staff of Fresh Produce Development Agency joined FAO counterparts and organizations worldwide to promote the awareness and action for those who suffer from hunger and for the need to ensure healthy diet for all, leaving no one behind. CEO for Fresh Produce Development Agency, Mark Warinu, said in order to see better production, nutrition environment and better lives, the country have to work together and see good output so that no one is left behind. He said all must harness the power of solidarity and collective action to build a sustainable country where everyone has regular access to enough nutritious food. All gardening food displayed at the event were shared and distributed amongst Goroka Hospital, University of Goroka and Bute Correctional Institute CIS. World Food Day 2022 is being marked in a year with multiple global challenges, including COVID-19 pandemics, conflict, climate change, rising prices, and international tensions, all these affecting global food security. The day is led by the Food and Agriculture Organization. Cynthia Maku, National EMTV News.
The Morata 1 New Block settlers served a court order this morning to police and the 6th Estate Limited. The national court order approved by the courts on the 15th of October 2022 by the settlers now states any form of eviction must be stopped.
Following the Morata 1 mass eviction that took place in Port Moresby on last week Wednesday, the 12th of this month, the displaced settlers have filed a court order seeking the court's jurisdiction to stop any eviction exercises. The court order has been entered and signed by Acting Justice Wood on Saturday, the 15th of October 2022. This has been served to the relevant authorities of the Morata 1 eviction. Court order originating summons 210 of 2022 was served between the National Capital District Commission as the first plaintiff and Ronnie Tengere and others of Morata 1 New Block as the second plaintiff and the 6th Estate Limited as the defendant. Order 3 of this paper spells that any interim restraining order was granted in favor of the plaintiffs in that the defendant, its employees, servants and agents, including the police personnel, are restrained from carrying out any further eviction exercises against the plaintiff from the land Morata 1 New Block until further orders are executed from this court. The matter returns on 20th October 2022 at 9:30 a.m. for interpart hearing. An urgent appeal was made by the settlers yesterday. Today, signs of eviction are still taking place. Police personnel are on ground to monitor the situation. In an interview with the representatives of the Morata 1 New Block Community Welfare and Development Association, the restraining order was served to the relevant parties today at 10 a.m. in the morning, and they are expecting a stop to the eviction be made. Grace Papiali, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues after the break with more stories. Stay with us. You're watching National EMTV News. The Goilala community of Rabia Guinea living at the foothills of 2 Mile Hill in the Moresby South Electorate hosted the Central Governor Rufina Peter and the Goilala Open MP Casimiro Aya to a meet and greet yesterday. The community is made up of Gwari villagers who have settled in Port Moresby. Gwari LLG is one of the least developed places in the Goilala district, and during the occasion, community leaders shared their concerns with both the governor and the open member.
Residents of Rabia Guinea settlement made up of Gwari villages in the Goilala district of the Central Province prepared themselves early yesterday in anticipation of the arrival of both the Governor for Central Province, Rufina Peter, and the Goilala Open member, Casimiro Aya. At about lunchtime, the entourage arrived with both parliamentarians treated to a welcome from the youth and children of the community, along with Tsinsing groups. In a traditional gesture, the chiefs of the community broke tobacco and presented it to both leaders, denoting that it is time for the central leaders to serve the Gwari people. Taking the lead, community leader Rawai Meki urged the local MP and the governor to revive village courts at Gwari LLG.
Number 2 something, village courts to Lomipla inside long, district Lomipla. And we put on finish since 2014. It's coming up now. We ask him, you long bring back.
Representing the youth and women, Chokobet Pawai spoke of the need for education for the young women and men.
Honorable Governor and Member, my challenge to all of us is, what can we do to change this negativity, the trend in development and service delivery to Gwari? Something has to happen somewhere.
In his reply to the concerns raised, the member for Goilala, Kasmiro Aya, called for collective cooperation to ensure development takes place in the districts.
But walking the talk is another. Taking into account the geography of our positioning, Goilala is a hard place to go. But only resilient people of Goilala can put up with the challenge. We are a resilient tribe. Goilala people, you are a resilient tribe.
Governor for Central Province, Rufina Peter, acknowledged the challenges faced by the people of Gwari LLG. She promised to work along with the local members in the Central Province, but before work and development can begin in Gwari LLG, Governor Peter called for the people to make peace with the local Catholic Church leaders in the area due to a murder of one of the Catholic priests serving in the area in the past.
I'm all this triple something and make it same. Time is sit down a harem. Talk people making Lomina, member bla Goilala Masari. Na order bla and Golonemia. If not making anything, suppose you may not making peace past there.
Both MPs have agreed to work with the people and have called on the community and the local people in Gwari LLG to put their differences aside and work towards a peace ceremony with the local Catholic diocese, earmarked to take place in December. Rocky Iso, National MTV News.
The Directorate of Social Change and Mental Health Services has established a mental health tribunal to cater for mental health patients who are to attend court cases. The Mental Health Tribunal will support the people of Papua New Guinea to be a nation of mentally healthy individuals. It is guided under Section 27 of the Mental Health Act 2015.
According to the chairperson of the Mental Health Tribunal, Daisy Kaputin Magaru, the role and purpose of the tribunal is to ensure that patients are provided with quality mental health services by ensuring the following are achieved: review and investigate matters relating to admission, treatment, leave, discharge, and continued treatment of patients and consumers. Investigate complaints and grievances of patients or consumers, their next of kin, visitors and staff, and report back to the Directorate of Social Change and Mental Health Services Board. Mrs. Magaru said the tribunal is accountable for maintaining at all times its roles and functions as prescribed in the Mental Health Act 2015 as a viable and diligent tribunal. She highlighted the tribunal members comprises of a chairperson, whom should be a senior magistrate or a judge, 2 psychiatrists, a member knowledgeable in clinical psychology or occupational therapy, social work officer, a lawyer, a member of the disciplinary force, and a community representative. She further said the tribunal shall furnish to the health minister through the Directorate Board with reports of the tribunal's progress. Cynthia Maku, National MTV News.
In partnership with the Burnett Institute, the United Nations Population Fund in Papua New Guinea is supporting the National Department of Health to conduct emergency obstetric and newborn care training with midwifery professionals around the country. 14 midwifery master trainers and 4 midwifery educators participated in a 4-day workshop in Port Moresby with specialists from the Burnett Institute.
Health outcomes for women experiencing prolonged or obstructed labor will be improved following a capacity building for midwifery trainers and educators. Participants were guided through how to assess, monitor and support women and babies when labor is not progressing normally. The program began in 2019 and over 100 midwives have been trained. Facilitating this training was Burnett Institute midwifery specialist Cara Blackburn and research Institute's midwife, Boya Clevert, who introduced how to complete a rapid assessment of mothers in labor when prolonged labor is suspected, what to do during ineffective contraction, and how to manage hyperstimulation. Ms. Blackburn is hoping to see improvement in terms of identifying complication as soon as a mother enters the maternity ward. She said midwives in PNG are doing extremely well in really challenging circumstances, especially in the rural areas when it is identified that the woman is in a prolonged obstructed labor. Ms. Blackburn highlighted that this training will enable the nation's next generation of midwives to be trained and be provided with the highest standards of preparation before joining this essential workforce. A senior midwifery lecturer from the University of Papua New Guinea under the School of Health and Medical Science, Ms. Lilian Temo, was grateful for the enhancement of her skills in using simulators when teaching. Meanwhile, UNFPA Country Rep Marielle Senda reaffirmed UNFPA's commitment to the midwife working to serve women and babies in PNG. Sharon Engnui, National EMTV News.
The eye operation program conducted at the Kainantu Hospital in Goroka started 2 weeks ago and ended over the weekend. Over 1,000 patients from the Momase and Highlands region were treated.
Ophthalmologists, doctors and nurses traveled into Kainantu Hospital in Goroka, Eastern Highlands Province 2 weeks ago to carry out the eye operation. Patients traveled in from Momase and Highlands region to be treated. Some patients were accommodated and fed by the hospital with the support from the Kainantu mine during the 2 weeks operation. Total of 1,379 patients registered, while 459 underwent eye surgery. Eastern Highlands Provincial Health Chief Executive Officer Dr. Joseph Appa was very impressed with the work of ophthalmologist doctors and nurses who came from other provinces in PNG to assist his team for 2 weeks. Team leader and senior ophthalmologist Dr. David Bahau thanked Eastern Highlands Provincial Health Authority for funding the program, which is really helpful and benefited people from other parts of Highlands and Momase region. The 2 weeks eye operation in Kainantu Hospital of Goroka, Eastern Highlands Province ended over the weekend. Thomas Sulembari, National EMTV News.
And now looking at the Nest Fund market report, the kina closed unchanged at 0.2840 in the US dollars in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying 0.2765 US dollars, 0.4367 Australian dollars, 0.2761 euro, 40.37 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York closed, gold is trading lower, coffee closed lower, cocoa closed higher, copra closed lower, palm oil closed lower, crude oil is trading lower, copper closed higher. On the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, the ASX 200 is trading higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading higher. National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. A way forward in soliciting feedback on ocean information products to improve dissemination of important ocean forecast and information and issues affecting our ocean and how this affects coastal areas in PNG was the main agenda today in the week-long PNG Ocean Science to Service Workshop and Stakeholder Awareness hosted by the PNG National Weather Service and the Pacific Community, funded by the Climate and Ocean Support Program in the Pacific and other stakeholders. The workshop was developed with support from the PNG Weather Service, open today with stakeholders from various government organizations, NGOs assembling at the Gateway Hotel in Port Moresby.
Day 1 of the PNG Ocean Science to Service workshop hosted by the PNG National Weather Service began today with stakeholders introducing themselves and what they hope to take away or learn from the workshop. Kasia Sinape, the Assistant Director Climate and Special Services from the PNG National Weather Service, spoke of the agendas of the Weeklon workshop.
The purpose of this workshop is to come up with a tailor-made products and services for our coastal marine community. At the moment, we haven't ventured into that space. We do provide forecast, but at a more general scale.
Mr. Inape also spoke on the outcomes of the policies which will be identified by the stakeholders.
At the end of the workshop, we're going to have a session where we will provide a sample subset of products and services that we think can help them from the presentations, listening to them. And they will be able to vet it so that whatever their interest is there can be captured in that sample products or services that are going to come out from our office.
The Pacific Community Climate and Ocean Support Program in the Pacific, Australian Government Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, Bureau of Meteorology, Secretariat of the Pacific Environment Program provided the impetus of the workshop on PNG Ocean Science to Service workshop. Day 2 continues tomorrow at the Gateway Hotel in Port Moresby. Rocky Iso, National EMTV News.
Still on the Ocean Science to Service workshop, a session on ocean mapping today involving stakeholders, participants and the media focused on PNG in terms of missing database and how stakeholders can work together to fill in the missing gaps.
Following introductions from participants, the PNG Ocean Science and Service Workshop moved to its first topic on ocean mapping, which saw its first presentation from Pyri Ives Charpentier, a representative of the Pacific Community Center for Ocean Science based in Nomia. Mr. Charpentier added that this initiative was to help PNG in terms of missing databases and how they can help to create new projects to be implemented and fill those missing links.
We're doing a stakeholder mapping and needs mapping. So we have a lot of diverse stakeholders in the room, from PNG National Weather Service, the Maritime Transport Authority, from community-based organization, NGOs, academia, the media. So we're trying to have an overview of what each group has in terms of ocean information, ocean data, how they use it, how they make it accessible or not, and what they need in the future as well.
If Feather says they will also look at the issues that the ocean science in PNG faces and will work together.
With the PNG stakeholders here, National Weather Service is the host of this workshop, so they're kind of the leads and across the different sectors on ocean science. So we'll be working with them, beside them, and trying to engage other stakeholders as well. And if we have that more detailed look of the issues that PNG stakeholders are facing regarding ocean science, so we know how to kind of better initiate new initiatives, new projects, and answer these issues as well.
The workshop will continue till Friday. This is the first of its kind workshop in soliciting feedback on ocean information and products to improve dissemination to those affected in our coastal communities. Cynthia Maku, National EMTV News.
U.S. Embassy in Port Moresby hosted a joint repatriation ceremony at the Jacksons International Airport in Port Moresby recently. The ceremony was to honor the returned remains of U.S. service members from World War II. The remains were recovered in an aircraft site in Wewak in a recovery mission that took several months. The United States acknowledged the Department of Foreign National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us.
Tukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Rugby League World Cup newcomers Jamaica were overthrown by their full-spirited opponents Ireland, who claimed the win 48 points to 2 from Pool C in Leeds yesterday at Headingley Stadium.
The fourth match in round one of the 2022 Rugby League World Cup saw the World Cup's first-timers Jamaica clash against Ireland, who ravenously grabbed the win with a 48-2 point scoreline at the Headingley Stadium.
Been heavily involved in Justin Holbrook's side over the last 3 seasons, and you can see why there with that.
Ireland's dominance prevailed firmly right from the start to the finish. The opening try went through crucial soft hands, but sank on the try lines of the Jamaicans through Ireland's Lewis Senior, who transitioned directly from a scrum.
There's no stopping Lewis Senior. He's into score.
Ireland scored its second, third and fourth tries through Captain George King, Brendan O'Hagan and Ed Chamberlain within the next 30 minutes of the clash.
Picked up quickly out from dummy half. It's going to be taken by O'Hagan.
Jamaica's first ever point was attained through a penalty kick by Kieran Rush, who converted smoothly, taking the halftime scoreboards as 18-2.
Is this going to be Jamaica's first World Cup points ever? Yes, it is. Listen to that.
With just 17 minutes remaining before full-time, the Irish side attempted for a last-minute glossy try through Lewis Senior, but failed. When the final siren rang, Ireland danced off a feisty defeat of 48-2 full-time score.
He's going to find his own route. There he goes.
This now sets a tough scenario for the Jamaican side as they buckle up to face Wales' #1 ranked Kiwis in their second match on Sunday the 23rd of October at 4:30 a.m, while Ireland prepares to take on Lebanon at 11:30 p.m. PNG time on the 23rd of October. Lisa Puni, Trukai Sports.
The fifth match of the 2022 Rugby League World Cup saw the New Zealand Kiwis defeating Lebanon 34 points to 12 in Group C of the men's round 1 at the Halliwell Jones Stadium in Warrington.
'21 rivals, the New Zealand Kiwis and the Lebanon Cedars, clashed in the fifth match of the Rugby League World Cup, which saw the Kiwis end in momentous win over Lebanon with a 34-12 final siren scoreline.
Time the scramble can't stop Rapid going out.
The match icebreaker try was scored by the underdog, similar to that of Australia and Fiji, in the first minute. The Lebanese led the match in the first 5 minutes, but the 7th minute saw the Kiwis shaking the tournament as they charged a first try, taking the match to 6-all. As the first half hooter goes, the Kiwis led 18-6 as Lebanon trailed.
And straight out of dummy half, the Hicko it is. Now Lebanon.
At the 46th minute of the match, Lebanon scores a try through the far end corner, taking the scoreboards to 18-12.
The first in the second.
Taking the scoreboards to 18-12.
Hot crack in this.
The next 20 minutes saw the Kiwis shaking the tournament as they charged with 3 consecutive tries, leaving an impressive 34-12 scoreline.
A stake in the ground.
The Kiwis were anticipating a final score, but the final siren goes as they post to ending their solid victory over the Lebanese 34-12 points.
The scramble can't stop Rapid.
As round 2 of the Rugby League World Cup draws near, New Zealand will now prepare to face Jamaica on the 23rd of October at 4:30 a.m, while Lebanon will prepare to meet Ireland, scheduled on the 23rd of October at 11:30 p.m. PNG time. Lisa Puni, Trukai Sports.
Trukai Sports continues after the break with more stories. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
You're watching Trukai Sports. The Men's National Soccer League competition kicked off its round 3 matches at the PNG Football Stadium yesterday. They saw 6 clubs from 4 different conferences participating in the tournament. Following are the results of round 3 as of 3 p.m. yesterday.
The matches commenced with the Southern Conference, where Hekari United and Genesis FC displayed a smooth match, which ended with Hekari victorious over Genesis FC with 1-0. In the next two matches, still under the Southern Conference, NCD South FC lost to Gulf Comara FC scoreless to 4 goals, while Central Amoana FC defeated NCD FC 7 goals to 0 at the final siren. To the Northern Conference, Morobe Wawens FC lost to Ley Natives FC 1-4 goals, respectively. The second match witnessed Ley City Dwellers FC victorious over Lahi FC 3 goals to 1, while the third game saw Ley City FC winning with a goal difference 2-1 over Tusbab Stallion at full time. In the New Guinea Islands Eastern Conference, Panguna Metals FC won with 3 points as Bougainville United FC lost to a point difference. The second match saw Northern Bougainville FC proving too strong over Laden Sankamap FC, winning with 4-1 goals. The NGI Central Conference saw Seeds United FC losing to 2 goals against Tavour FC, who won by 3 goals. In the next 2 matches, Kimbe Eagles FC won by 3 points as West Tribe FC remained scoreless at full time. The Highlands Conference also showcased 3 games, where in the first match, Hagen FC defeated Wapak FC 2-0, while the other 2 matches saw Ape Aparo FC defeating Goroka FC with 1 goal to 0, as Kuri FC and Radza FC went to a 3-all draw. Meanwhile, PNG FA Competitions manager Amjad Takwi says all of the NSL competition draws will be uploaded on their official social media platforms for public consumption. Lisa Puni, Trukai Sports.
And that ends Trukai Sports. The weather report is next. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
Weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Southern region, Port Moresby mostly fine. Daru cloudy with squally showers and windy. Kerema brief showers and thunderstorm, then partly cloudy. Alatau brief showers, then partly cloudy morning. Popondetta patchy rain showers and thunderstorm, then partly cloudy. In the Momase region, Ley, patchy rain drizzle, then cloudy. Madang, Wewak and Banimo thunderstorm with brief showers, then cloudy morning. In the New Guinea Islands, Lorengau, few showers and thunderstorm, then cloudy. Kavieng, overnight showers and possible thunderstorm, then partly cloudy. Kokopo and Rabaul, brief showers and thunderstorm, then partly cloudy. Kimbe, easing rain showers and thunderstorm, then cloudy. Buka, brief showers and cloudy. In the Highlands region, Hagen, overnight patchy drizzle, then morning fog. Goroka and Kundiawa, cloudy periods, then morning fog. Mendi and Wabeg, few showers, then morning fog.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
And that wraps up the news, sports and weather for Monday, the 17th of October 2022. The replay of the Rugby League World Cup matches between Scotland and Italy at 7 p.m. straight after the break. Jamaica and Ireland at 9 p.m. right here on EMTV. From all of us here, pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Gold Nuggets.